That's a big chunk of clay.
How many pounds?
Uh,
Big donut.
I guess it's going to be a big donut.
Yum. I would like to have a donut right now.
All right, so we're going to get a center, start, cone, and a dome. Again, we complain about our wedger because I did a shitty job. Get the bottom of your cone early in the process. Yeah, I'm mitigating for some bad wedging right now. In fact, I don't know if we can see it. Like, can you see the little like the ripples and stuff in that clay there?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So those little ripples and stuff, that's, you know, like there's harder and softer clay next to each other, right? And that's just insufficient wedging, right? So I need to get this as consistent as possible on the wheel. So this is more like wedging and centering. But you can see all the bumps and air bubbles coming to the top. Yeah, you see now it's really obvious,
yeah.
right? So,
Big guy.
so send my wedger back to school. Wait a minute.
No, he has to go sit, or she has to go sit at the
That's right.
remedial wheel.
Could I have thrown through that stuff? Yes. Do I often? Yes. Should I wedge better? Yes. All right, so donut. I want to kind of think about how wide I want my donut, similar to like I do for a plate. We're going to go wider than this, but right now I'm just going to do something like this. And now we're going to dive, and I want to go all the way to the wheel head. So,
Because there's no bottom on it.
because there's no bottom in the middle of the donut. So I'm always south of center, never on dead center. Dead center is going to wobble, right? Now I'm going to switch to my heavy metal and down to the wheel head, all the way down, and you can see the wood down there. Now I want to decide how big is the opening of my donut. If I wanted a really small opening, I'd make a really small opening. We're going to make it we're going to make that the size of our opening, right? So now we want to decide how much clay we're going to use, and I'm going to basically divide this in half. I'm going to dive down, and now this depth is the thickness I want for my wall. So if I was going to stop and measure, I would want to stop and measure here. That's way too thick, right? I'm going to go down a little bit further, stop, and measure. Ooh.
That's good.
Not going any thinner than that. All right, so now we're going to make a cylinder. This is going to be a really big fat donut. Make our inside cylinder. And then I'm going to make our cylinder a little bit wider here. I'm going to pull this open a little bit more. And now, again, we're going to break that rule and we're going to scoop from the outside. We're going to scoop this up. And now we're going to make a cylinder with this chunk of clay. Always keep your rim under control. It looks like that's all I can get out of this piece of clay. All right, then it's about, we're going to clean some of this stuff up now because I don't want goopy surfaces coming in contact with each other. Otherwise I won't have a nice connection. So first I'm going to scrape the water off the outside, and then I'm going to make sure there is no slip on the rim of my piece. I don't want to do this with a sponge. I want to get this kind of dry, and I'm going to go ahead and dry this out too. And now, in the same way we were making a bowl, I am going to go ahead and push this out. Should I use a metal rib? I can use any rib I want, in actuality.
And they're gonna meet.
Right, so now I'm gonna take this guy out.
Oh, wait.
All right, now this is gonna be my contact point here. I wanna make sure I don't have slip on that contact point, and I don't have slip on that contact point. And now we're gonna bring these two so they touch each other.
Wow.
And now we're going to use our metal rib to
Seal it up.
make this a nice round curve.
That's so cool. I'm gonna try this one more. Very exciting, Jeff. Okay.
So I'm just going to work this seam a little bit. So I also like my bottom to be, curved a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a pinching action down here. And I'm squeezing on the inside and I'm pushing a little bit on the outside, just making it a little bit more donut shaped. So when I go to trim, it's not going to be as much work.
So is the idea being when you're done, it'll be equally round on both sides?
Not completely. I'm not gonna be able to get the bottom side completely.
Yeah.
That's gonna be saved for trimming, but like I wanna make this, this shape, get it shaped kind of how I want it to a certain extent. And that is a donut. So, like, the things you're going to play around with, with the amount of clay you have is, how tall your cylinders are on either side, how wide your opening is on the inside.